Welcome to the HalfTime Heroes with the latest sports news from around the peninsula with Adam Kelly, Peter Sasovich, Luke Harris and Neil Craig. Take it away, Adam.
G'day sports fans and welcome to the HalfTime Heroes. We are offset again what has been round 5 in an interesting round of football in the MPFNL, both in Division 1 and Division 2, but of course we're going to head straight to Division 2 first. It's a very, very, very different looking panel of experts, heroes here for this episode. As I welcome you for the first time, Commish. Hello.
Hello, Adam. How are you?
I'm well, mate. How's your week been, please?
Is there an expert here, is there?
No. Well, yeah, there is one actually.
In the corner
You can't see him. He's just off centre.
He's already picked us up on a couple of things.
You can't see him at the moment. You've had a good week, Commish?
Yeah, very good, mate. Very good. Thank you.
So
back
you're
in town.
doing some things around Manaliser. We'll get to that soon.
Okay.
We'll get to that soon. Spook, hello to you.
Good. Hello, Adam. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, mate. How's your week been, please?
Not bad. Bombers, Essendon Bombers won. That was great. Francis Bombers lost, so okay.
Get stuff, Carlton. Go Pies. That's all I've got to say about that. Well, you can introduce... Well...
you introduce him, mate.
I'll introduce him. Well, Nipple Susovich. No, he's not here.
Yeah, where is Sus?
He's in Thailand.
Oh, that actually...
The annual trip.
Yeah, did you get the report of the gorilla that escaped the cage?
I was quite concerned, I've got to be honest.
So we'll roll the footage during the week, but Sus has escaped the cage and chased the zoo people around. It's not great.
Oh.
So he got a little bit drunk in the zoo, Sus. He's chased a few of the workers. So it's quite funny having a look at Sus doing that.
What was left of it,
it's not great.
Well, it's his second year back that we know of in Thailand, and I think they see him. I think
is it by invite or
the ape enclosure? They see him as a bit of a figurehead now.
Do they?
Like they carry him on their backs, and
they want to have a few carrying him.
How many apes
Planet
would
of
carry
the
that
Apes
ape on their back? Like 15 of them.
carrying
strong
the chariot. Absolutely. Well, he was pissed about something and he's chased them out of the bloody enclosure. Good on you, Nipple Susovich. That means that I'm pressing the buttons.
Ooh.
So who bloody knows what can happen? Because I'm telling you what, this kit is very, very unfamiliar. So we'll just see how we go. And we have got a special guest in studio today joining us for this episode. Leigh MacQuillen, of course, the senior assistant coach, or he prefers to be called the director of football, Mornington Football Netball Club. Hello to you, Macca.
Hey, Adam, how are you, mate?
Yeah, very good, mate. Thanks for joining.
Thanks
for joining the HalfTime Heroes, mate. Well, let's get straight into Division 2 football. Somerville, of course, getting the job done over Bond Beach. Very, very interesting. 81 played 66.
Yeah.
Commish.
Our concerns at Bond Beach are growing by the week, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they are.
We're putting a line through the bottom 4 in Division 2 now. Would that be fair?
Oh, look, I reckon
think they can play finals, can they? They're a long way back.
Yeah, they are, and you sort of see it. There's a couple of sides there. Obviously, Hastings dropped off a little bit, and Rise obviously got that first win of the season, but it's going to be a tricky old season for them. So probably the bottom 4. It's going to be hard, or a long way back from there.
It's a long way back.
Bond Beach are a shock, aren't they? They're a professional footy club. One win in Div 2.
I think I had them in the top 4 or 5.
I picked them for finals.
Probably the top 3.
Absolutely.
Yes, without any intel.
And they did. I mean, they lost a lot of players, obviously, in the off-season as well.
Look at their list.
Toe Bailey, you got some good players there still.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Bond Beach, to be honest, because obviously didn't look at him last year, but I know a lot about Summy, and I guess looking at some of the players Summy has still got, I probably expected that win, to be honest.
Yeah. At Somerville. At Summy? Was it at Summy?
It was at Somerville.
Yeah, okay.
Somerville Recreation Reserve.
They bounced back. They got that almighty spray, and they came back.
Your boy Jimmy Neal want to lift his socks up. Come on, Foxy.
Yeah.
Tired.
Yeah.
I know. Smashed by
Chelsea.
over 60 points at Chelsea Rec Reserve. 123 played 61. Very, very interesting.
So Chelsea. Wow. They're riding a wave now.
Absolutely.
Chelsea, and we don't, again, no intel really, but Jesus, they're flying.
Well
coached. They're
coached.
going to take a power of stopping.
Yeah, we found it pretty tough last year. We played them at Chelsea. It took us a while to shake them, and their list is pretty deep. So I reckon they're probably, they're backed up by that. I haven't looked at what their development side did yesterday, but they do go pretty deep. So having a great year though so far.
Good big scores too.
Macca, that's what it's all about, going deep enough.
Oh, it is 100%.
And we talk about depth all the time. But this is on display right now.
Yeah. I think it's people probably discount it a little bit when I often look at development sides and 19s and see how they're tracking with other teams as well, just to see what you're coming up against, because it's huge. It's important. You need to have that sort of next 6 in probably both sides coming up to know that you're going to be competitive, because we all know come mid-season we've got 6 or 7 on the sidelines. So it's vital.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Next game, of course, very, very interesting. Crib Point going from strength to strength took on Seaford Football Netball Club at RF Miles Reserve.
A winless Seaford.
Yes, a winless
Seaford.
Hasn't
Bran Arnold grown a little sprout since he's been in here?
Yeah,
How much better was he for an ear, Macca?
Everyone always is.
Wow, they're now 4-1.
Yeah,
It's been a long time since Crib been 4-1. After round 5.
It's been a long time since Crib Point would have been 4-1.
They took a couple of our depth players from the development side last year. DeCluver obviously is there, and
Right.
Ryan Smith out of the ruck, obviously on the back of the league best and fairest in the twos, and so they've probably added that bottom end to their side that's probably holding them up a bit, I think.
Yeah, right.
Smart recruiting that. The
real
two,
smart.
the two ruckmen.
Stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. The ruckmen are hard to find.
Would that have been a recommendation from maybe Walker, who nearly...
Walker?
Yeah, well, I think so. No, I probably think so.
They're not doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Not Walker wouldn't have been doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Just that we're devoid in this. How about we...
I think there's a bit of merit in it. Like if you're a middle of the road side in Divi 2 and you want to make that jump into finals, well, have a look at the side. A Mornington or a Summy from Divi 2 last year that performed well. Have a look at those blokes that might be a little bit disgruntled on not making the senior side. And then jump on those players and give them an opportunity to play seniors. It's a smart move.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's good, Mac. I like that from you. Next game, of course, Edith Vale. I tipped them. Edith Vale by a point at Edith Vale, Aspendale, Devon Meadows.
So Joel's gone forward.
Next time, look in the camera. I'm just going to timestamp that because that's going to go straight to the reels.
Jolie Hillis has gone forward in the last quarter and kicked 5 goals.
Jolie.
Just, Dusty Martin, get out of my way.
He is
Everyone
super.
Clear out. Yeah.
I recall playing them last year, and I remember him going forward, and he caused us a nightmare because we knew what we were doing with Ryder, but he caused us a nightmare because we were just like, how do you match him up? He's a bit like Newman when you put him forward, like he's a bull. When he wrestles one-on-one, he'll push you out the side. He actually,
Smart.
when we played him there at the start of the year last year, he nearly got us right at the end. He got Big Sus out of the way in a late contest, and he missed, and we were able to hold on and get him right on the siren. But he's a super player. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't give him a phone call over the off-season to see whether
Who didn't?
correct.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
I know you were going hard.
Yeah.
That was I.
Macca, we had Dean Kent in that seat last week, and we spoke about Big Boy Month coming up.
Yep.
So this was round 1 of 4 pretty tough weeks they had coming up, and they've just stumbled only by a point, mind you, but it's just a stark reminder of how bloody even the comp is when you get to those top, because they hadn't really beaten any great shakes yet. So Big Boy Month is proving to be Big Boy Month.
Yeah,
and,
100%.
They've got another tough one next week, and let's see how they go.
It's a big game.
And everyone's going to turn around and say, well, no Paddy Ryder, no Devon. For sure. I don't buy into that so much, but
that's not what you said off air.
And Edie had to... Edie.
He said, you were up on your chair. Yeah. No Ryder, no Devon. No Ryder, no Devon.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute utter bullshit.
I'll support you, Devon. Neil's potting you. I'll support you. Things have turned around here, too.
Mate, the only thing you're supporting at Devon is the Drewy boys and Joel Hillis.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And Ty Kirkwood.
And Ty, of course. Next game in Division 2 netball, geez, how am I going? Football, round 5 was Coringal, hosted the Hastings Football Netball Club. Hastings, it just doesn't seem to get any better for them, does it?
It's tough. They're not in a great spot. Like, financially, they're in trouble. They're getting... at least that's a competitive hit-out. But, they're in a bad spot, Hastings.
Yeah.
What do they do, Macca? Your finger on the pulse, man. What do they do?
It's a tricky one. They obviously lost a lot of players. There's a fair bit going on there with what happened financially. But at the end of the day, we played their 19s last year, and they were extremely good.
Yeah,
They've got a lot of talented kids. But... we see it with North Melbourne. When you go to the well and you're putting a heap of young kids out there and you're relying on it, you haven't got a couple of older heads around it. That's the issue. They've got no choice but to back these kids. But I reckon it's going to take them a couple of years. And that's what they have to do. They have to go back to the well and look. What have they lost by? They've lost by 27 points. So if they can hang into games and get games into kids, but they've got to keep them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's loss after loss after loss after loss, when does that sort of damn wall break and do some of those kids go, or do they stay? you just hope they sign them and they keep them.
Can I ask you on that very point? We talk about divisional football all the time, Division 1, 2, 3 potentially, and Division 3's been hanging around for a little while now without anything happening.
Yeah.
Would that be, in your mind, would that be a good spot to develop these young kids coming through?
Yeah,
Where do you sit on that?
Well, I don't have the history other people do with the MPNFL, but what I will tell you is I coached in the South East Football League, and then I coached in the Greater Outer East, and I was coaching Beaconsfield at the time, and we had Narry Warren, we had Cranbourne, we had Berwick, and at that time I always felt like, as a Beaconsfield person, our shift should have been MPNFL, and I know there's history in that, and I get the history, so I'm not sitting here saying I know all that, and I know there's some wounds, I guess, from back in the day, but for me, you put those sides into this comp, you create a 3-tier comp. You got these sides that are sitting down the bottom of Divi 2 who could be, rebuilding, regenerating in Divi 3, and then winning a flag and coming up. So that's my take on it. I just think there should be 3 divisions for sure. I think it'd be healthy for the comp.
Yeah. Macca, if you were to bring the Beakies in the top 5 from the old South East over, like we all think that should happen, Narry and Beaky and Cranny and those teams, you would think that the MPFNL Division 1 becomes basically as good as Eastern. Right there. I mean, they're not far now, but if you add a Beaconsfield and a Narry, our comp's so strong now, it nearly becomes the premier comp in the state. And I think there's I'm not sure the reluctance to do it. I don't really understand. The growth is, even if you get some negativity from the growth, and there might be a team or grow the league.
I think
growth's great for everyone.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the issue...
Let's just be so good for everyone.
The issue was, Luke, that some of those clubs that applied didn't have netball. So it made it hard for... There was the financial implications, canteen sales, subs, that sort of stuff. So
I found
that was the sticking point originally, from my understanding, Macca.
I found it a little bit bizarre because Beaconsfield's netball was real strong, and they had it in the...
you probably had that. There was 2 or 3 that didn't.
Yes,
so that put the kibosh in the whole lot.
Yeah, that's right.
And it became too hard.
That's right. That's right. But I do agree, Luke. I think that it'd be strong. Those sides they're in growth corridors, so those sides are very strong. You got Beaconsfield who sitting on top of Division 1 Eastern, and then you got Berwick who at this look they were middle of the table last year in Premier, but they've dropped sort of lower there. But they're strong sides, and Cranbourne obviously did well in the Southern.
Yeah, strong.
And then you've got sides like Pakenham's probably a bit further down, but they're a pretty good side as well. So
and a huge growth corridor.
Massive,
to get strong. Imagine if you were feeding that, and getting some excitement around it.
Yeah, 100%.
The last game, to round out round 5, Pearsdale 2 strong, 191 defeating Rye, 42.
Your Rye boys got an absolute shellacking.
Yeah, an absolute shellacking, a pasting. It's not getting any better for Rye, is it? But Pearsdale, what a gallant performance, 28-23 at Pearsdale Rec Reserve.
Gallant?
A gallant.
How's
just
that gallant?
Pasting is what it is.
Yeah,
so ditto conversation.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'm a massive fan of this side. They knocked us off last year. Granted, Dane Beams had a day out that day, but I actually think they're better without Beams. Like I got Brett Eddy now up forward, who's a super player, but Thornton and the Bastonacks, and you got Frawley down back. I rate them extremely highly, and they're well coached. So
they structure up well, don't they?
They do. Big bodies. Yeah. When the going gets tough, they get tougher. So I rate them highly. They're my pick, to be honest.
Yeah.
So Rye, the ditto comment was for Rye.
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one, Rye. You're right. You look at the Hastings thing. They are trying to look after their own and trying to bring them through, and it's the same thing, like you say. They just haven't got those older bodies around them. So they lost Dean and a couple of those older blokes that Hartung left as well, and so they're back to the drawing board a bit, and hopefully they can get a couple of wins and a bit of momentum around their club, and they might be able to go from there. And they might need a money ball a little bit too. I think there's validity in that. So you have a look at that, the bottom of Divi 1 or the top of Divi 2, and say, can we get some of those blokes? And you're not overpaying for guys then, but you're giving them senior games. I mean, I know a couple of guys at Ryan. I've had a couple of phone calls saying, have you got some boys that we can talk to? Not necessarily always at Mornington, but other clubs you're looking at, and so you always pass on. I reckon this bloke might be worth a chat. He's good in the developments, So you're trying to help him out a bit.
Interesting.
Hey, geez, he brings some energy.
Mate, he's too good.
Does Macca bring energy?
He's way too good for this show. Way too good for this show. Commish, your takeaways for Div 2, please, if any.
Oh, look, I guess the Devon loss against Edie, who we thought were just going.
Yeah.
And so the Paddy Ryder thing and that sort of stuff. But Paddy, he might have been rested. We don't know what actually happened. But Chelsea's continuance of dominance was my. They were the 2 big ones for mine. You expected Pearsdale to win. Kringle Hastings, we didn't know what was going to happen. But, Chelsea 62 points over a plucky Tyabb.
Yeah.
10 goals.
Yeah. Interesting.
Tyabb
does it make sense, Luke? What's going on?
Tyabb scored. I mean, I love Sam Fox. I've nearly loved Sam Fox as much as I do Joel Hillis. Nearly. Sam's very good. But their scores surprised me.
Yeah, Menage.
Yeah, well, if I hadn't got Jolie too, Frankston, there would have been. But the scores surprised me because I know how professional. And he's a very good coach, Foxy. Yeah. He's a great leader, and they've got their top 6 or 8 in Tyabb are very good.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised. I know they're bottom 5, as we spoke about. It's maybe they're bottom 4 or 5, but I expected them to be really there this year.
Yeah.
It's strange scores the last couple of weeks from Tyabb. Maybe they've got a few out. I haven't checked the names. They've got 4 or 5 ex-VFL boys running around.
Yeah.
I reckon they're older age boys, but Will Ho's a good young player.
Good,
they've got some talent.
Will, named in their best. I reckon just looking at their best heroes family and boys, Corey Buchan, Will Hose, Ryan Marks Logan, of course, Tommy Hose and Hurlston.
Who were the goal kickers? Just while you
know. So Tom Hose kicked...
Come on, Jimmy.
He kicked 1, Carl Hurlston 2...
Jimmy.
None?
Will Hose, nothing.
Jesus, Jimmy, that is... Jimmy loves it.
So disappointing.
Yeah.
He's off the list.
Don't invite him around for a cup of tea.
We're off him.
No beers for Jimmy.
You watch him say that he wasn't there. Spook for you, please. Takeaways for Division 2.
Yeah. The Devon game was a bit of a shock. You would have expected them to win with the list they've got, and just the big gaps in the bottom couple. It's a big concern for Division 2. The positive part isn't positive for the teams that are getting smacked, but with these teams that are getting absolutely munched, hopefully that forces the hand of the league to bring in Division 3, because you can't have another season next year after if teams getting beat by 150, 140 points. It's terrible.
No, it is terrible.
That hopefully changes it.
And under the bus, for those just joining us, we have the superstar coach, Leigh MacQuillen, of course, senior assistant coach and director of football, and his son that's in the corner there.
Just played on the wing, just tout him up.
Under the bus you go, Macca. Takeaways for Div 2, please.
Oh, look, I'm going to probably point out Chelsea's great start to the year. It's huge from them, and they're maybe you look at Devon. For me, I look at Devon, Pearsdale, and Edie, and sort of that for me that was an expectation for them to be in that mix. And Crib Point sitting at 4th spot.
Yeah, it's great.
Good on them.
It's awesome.
I love what they're doing.
They've been coming.
They have been coming, and we played them last year, and for close to 3 quarters, 2.5, 3 quarters, we couldn't shake them. And credit to them because I reckon you'll find they've got reasonable depth, and if they stay pretty injury free, like I probably thought they might have just been outside the 5, but they're sitting inside it, and good on them. And if they make it, I won't be surprised.
I remember when I was at Devon. I think you were with me, Luke. It might have been 2019 or something. We played Cribby, and they got their kids back from Stingrays that day or something. And holy shit!
Yeah, it's always got some kids.
We just shook them late in the game, but geez, could they play?
Yeah. They're good luck to them. They're doing the right way. A lot of kids.
They are. They're doing it internally,
exactly.
with a bit of money behind on the side. Yeah,
there's always a different array of how to win premierships. We all know the sustainability of it, or the short-lived.
I'm not sure if you can do it, Adam, but on the Crib Point player list, how many points did they play with yesterday? Is that too good?
No, it's not, mate. Just talk amongst yourselves.
I'd guess
what am I bloody ass chewer now, am
33, 34, maybe.
Player points? I mean, that's a great number.
Yeah,
that's
great.
That's the first one I look at.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
We'll take a guess at 34.
Yeah, 30.
You're going to go 30.
They're doing
36.
36. Yep, there you go.
36. Right.
Perfect.
Out of 46.
You're an absolute.
Out of 46.
Yeah.
Only 46.
Jesus. It's a fair start, isn't it?
Yeah, nice.
Good handicap.
Good very good handicap.
Handicap at 10.
Yeah, not bloody wrong. Struth. Let's jump straight into round 6. This Saturday, of course, lots and lots of games. Very, very interesting. We'll hold on to the selection table in the last game of the round, of course. But just quickly around the room, Bomb Beach taking on Edith Vale, Aspendale at Bomb Beach. This is probably, it's not our selection table, but geez, it'd be close, wouldn't it, to come up on top of the selection table.
On form, you'd think Eddie'd win that.
Yeah, me too.
You'd have to.
Yeah, Way Lopo's playing apparently too. I haven't watched him, but I'm hearing a lot.
Yeah, he's a machine.
I did
it's a beautiful little football.
I said to Dean Kent last week, you might want to stop him, and I don't think they run with the tagger, but maybe they might next time.
Yeah.
He's probably had 40 and kicked 3. He's a good little player.
Yeah, very good player. Yeah.
Did you coach against him in Eastern?
No, I didn't, but he did get a phone call in the off-season.
I bet you did.
He's actually a nice guy.
Yeah.
I didn't actually get to. We played him late in the year under lights down at Frankston, so I didn't actually get to know him. And at the end of the game, I didn't even catch up with him. When I rang him, I said, I hadn't introduced myself or anything like that. I said, but mate, we'd love to get you down at Mornington. But I reckon we're on the phone for about half an hour. Like, he's a real nice guy, and he loves that club. But you're never trying to. You're just asking the question: do you want to play?
Absolutely.
If you want to play Divi 1, you're a great player, mate. If Edie was in Division 1, 2, you would respectively, not.
You wouldn't even go there.
Exactly. He, to his credit, his comment was, mate, I appreciate I'm flattered by it, but at the end of the day, I want to be part of this club coming back. Bloke. So good on him.
I like that. Very interesting. And just for the Halftime Heroes family too, that was interesting too, how Division 1 coaches are, how they're bringing up the conversations. Do you want to come to Div 2? Do you want to come play Div 1 football? Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting
that's the
point.
For the blokes
exactly
goal,
right. Spot on, mate. Spot on. Crib Point taking on Chelsea. Another blinding down at Crib Point. Another blinder of a game. Thank you, Spook.
It's a good game of footy.
Another year older, mate. You still haven't lost it.
Yeah, that'd be a good game of footy. That'd be a cracker.
Yep.
If Cribby can knock off Chelsea, look out. Announce themselves.
That's a good game of footy.
Hastings taking on Seaford.
Nil or draw.
Nil.
Soccer score. But it's easy for us to pot these clubs. But by the Jesus, let's hope they come good. They show some signs.
Yeah, I think Seaford will get that. I think they'll get their first win of the year.
Yeah,
I think again, they were another side last year, super under 19s, but they've got a few older heads.
Yeah,
so that'll help them.
Kooringal takes on Rye Football Netball Club at the Kooringal Football Ground.
Soccer school.
Who wins Soccer score again. Rye for me.
You reckon Rye will beat
No,
Kooringal?
I don't.
It's a long way back for 149 points.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
How hard is that during the week? Have you had a coach team that's just been smacked off
I actually
the
have.
park?
I actually have.
How do you review
probably
that?
years ago, one of my first... Actually, it was my first senior coaching gig at Belgrave. We were Division 1 in the Mountain District League, and we won one game for the year. So I've been belted like that.
Right,
it is tough. It is tough. You end up in the end trying to do a lot of sessions off the track just to build morale.
Yes.
So I've been through it. It's not nice at all. But I think they are well coached, and he's obviously come from the Southern Footy League, and I think he'll have enough tricks up his sleeve. And you do if you bring morale, you bring the kids through, and you coach. You might not. I mean, in a game like that, they've got to coach to win because Kooringal are obviously down there.
That's right, exactly.
But when you come up against a Pierstale or something like that, you might just have different KPIs you're trying to hit, as opposed to...
That's right.
Yeah, as opposed to sort of
looking at the whole game, it's quarter by quarter, isn't it? Let's see if we can win it this quarter.
That might have been, let's not get beat by 150 points. And they made it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's
right. Almost sang the song.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you reckon we should start taking the scoreboard down at the
Struth.
Rye and Kooringal games?
Tyab taking on the Pierstale. The Panthers, of course, at Bungayan Reserve. Tyab, I reckon, will bounce back strongly at Yabby Land. No, they won't.
It's a
Pierstale too strong.
I think if Tyab dropped 2 in a row, they've dropped 2 of their last 3. They need to win, Tyab, to stay in touch with that top 5 if they're going to be playing finals.
Pierstale very consistent, aren't they?
You think they'll win that?
They'll win that. They'll win that.
You need your boy Jimmy to kick a couple of snags now.
Exactly.
Any chance, Jimmy?
Jeez, get up, Jimmy. Get up.
Okay.
He needs to come back.
Does he?
To have another
I'm
blinder.
not sure he's going to come back.
Oh,
if he
is he on the nose? On the nose. Oh, you put a
Put
line through him.
a line through
Oh, shit. And the Halftime Heroes selection table in Division 2 for round 6 is Devon taking on Somerville at Glover Reserve. This is set to be an absolute cracking game, Spook.
Yeah, it looks like it. They obviously had a couple of good tussles last year too. It was a 1-1. This Devon and Summy. Is it at Devon or is it at Somerville?
No, it's at Devon.
Oh, yeah, coming off a loss.
Not a massive advantage.
I'd expect Devon. I'd expect Devon to bounce back and win that. If they're fair dinkum, if they're a fair dinkum chance to win a flag, they should bounce back and play well in front of their home crowd and put a hole in Summy. They should, if they're fair dinkum.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Devon, it'll be a cracking game because obviously we lost to Somerville twice last year, so I do rate them. I do rate them highly, and then they've apart from
they were extra plucky in the grand final.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
they looked like the half time looks like they could have.
100%
run away with it. But
and Murphy's a huge, obviously. I mean, he's playing good footy at Franks, and he's a huge loss. But Mason DeWitt, and I mean, they've still got a very good list, so they'll be good. But I think I'm with you, Luke. I reckon if Devon can win this one, they probably make a little statement.
Big game. They want to bounce back.
And I think Crib Point would be pretty happy about it too, because Summy's just outside at the moment.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Crib be sort of barracking from as well.
Very good from you, Macca. We're going to take a quick break. That is a wrap for the Division 2 side of things. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with more Halftime Heroes.
Not all in-home care is the same. Aftercare has 21 years' experience matching clients to carers for more personalised help with things like shopping, gardening, domestic chores and personal care. If someone you love could receive better care in their home, why wouldn't you change? Call Aftercare on 1300 464663 or visit after-care.com.au.
So let our family help your family. Are you tired of spending endless hours on property maintenance? Look no further. Introducing Askanish, your premium solution for high-end property maintenance. Our expert team with years of golf course experience specialises in broadacre spraying and large area mowing, ensuring your property maintains its pristine condition. Say goodbye to hassle and say g'day to perfection with Askanish. To find out more, call Rob on 0407 362 328.
Welcome back to Halftime Heroes, the latest on local sport across the Mornington Peninsula.
Welcome back to the Halftime Heroes. Thanks for joining us, Halftime Hero family. Let's jump straight into the coach's corner, and the man, the myth, the legend at the moment. It's all on you. The spotlight's on you, Commish.
Doesn't the quality just get better of Suss's garage?
It does.
Well, once Suss left, it really shut.
The great man
It's
we
a lot
got
more
here
roomy,
just-
I find.
Oh, there is. Actually, there's a lot more spaces this evening. I don't
There's
We'd have to muck out his cage. Imagine mucking out Suss's cage. Turn it.
I do want to throw in there, though, that his son was supposed to be here with us this morning. And hasn't.
I know.
Where is he?
There's a whole house full of them somewhere, Macca, and there's
400,
none of them to be seen.
Righto, Macca. Thanks for joining us, and Nash as well. You brought your sonny, mate. Fresh off a game of, for the Bulldogs under 12s.
Yeah, and he did. They knocked off Ricky Johnson's young under 12 Mount
We love beating Mount Eliza.
Ricky had his head down as he walked off. He's a great fella, Ricky, and had his head down, but 2 losses for Ricky this week. Mount Eliza's been going well, so I'm not going to pot him because they gave us a hiding last week.
Thanks, Macca. Great interview.
Good's that? I love it.
Great start.
Great start.
This is awesome.
Fucking drive-by.
Yes, it's great. Sorry, Ricky.
Righto, back on course,
Ricky's
everyone.
a good man. Great man.
Macca, but you've been coaching for your playing career, your coaching career. For any aspiring coaches listening to us, this is how you get there. Mate, how do you get there? How do you get to your level? You're a premiership coach, essentially, for Mornington from last year. What level coach are you? How did you get there, and how did you know you wanted to get there?
It's a good question. So when I was playing, when I got to about 26, I started really investing in the leadership stuff. Yep. And it wasn't necessarily because I was a captain of a club. It was because I just wanted to lead. So I started just investing in that leadership group stuff. And then that transpired into wanting to be part of a coaching staff. So ironically, in 2005, I took on a role that was advertised online at the Rosebud Football Club. And I came down under Jason Hardwick, and I was a playing fitness coach. I had trouble with my hamstrings about then, so I didn't get many games in that year. But that was my first year of actually getting involved in coaching under Jason. Okay. I left the year after. I got a job at Belgrave Football Club as the senior playing coach, and had a good year that year. We were chatting about it just before. It was a tough year because we were in Division 1 outer east, and we only won 1 game for the year, so that's a tough initiation into it.
It is.
And then obviously from there went out to country in a Stony Creek and took a 3-year journey and took them to a flag and played in that as well, and then pulled the pin. But after that and coached in the VAFA and the Eastern Footy League since then. But I guess to get back to your story of aspiring coaches, I went and did my level 1 pretty early, and then I went and did my level 2 as well. And the level 2 is pretty in depth because it's pretty much a whole season. You got to write a journal. You got to put all your modules.
You got to have mentors.
Mentors come in. They watch your coach, and they. So I still actually have that book of doing that years ago when I was coaching Ajax in the amateurs, the Jewish side there in that one, and that was a cracking year. And so I got it. And I'm a school teacher. That's obviously I'm a phys ed teacher, and I'm now in leadership. So I'm sort of outside the classroom.
Leadership.
Shib, he's a prin.
Yeah,
no, he's a prin. He's a principal. He's the top dog, let's be honest.
Loving me time down at Took there.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, great
land of the
great neck of the woods. So that's sort of my story and how I did it. And I mix a little bit now. I love senior footy. I love coaching young men, but I do a little bit of junior stuff as well with the 12s. Yeah.
So we spoke about the time you spent at Belgrave, where you won Belgrave.
Yeah, one game.
Year. So do you've gone to that a couple of times now, so that resonates with you. Did you learn a lot from that and how to manage men in sort of adversity and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, 100%. So I always say, and when I went to Mornington to deliver for an interview there, and Josh obviously was going for the job at the same time, but when I went there, I talked to them about the fact that I think that one of the best things, that a best asset I have bringing to you guys is I've won a wooden spoon. And I won a premiership. So I've sort of seen both ends of it, and I know what it feels like on both ends. So, and I was, obviously hoping to get Mornington to a flag, and we had a 3-year plan in and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it came within 1 year, which was fantastic. But I think you take a lot out of that, and I'm sure at some stage we'll break down how Mornington's going at the moment. But, we look at it and say, what is it that we need to get out of? If you're sitting sort of bottom end of the season, what is it, bottom end of the ladder? What are you trying to get out of it from a sense with these players? Because, you got to lift them up every week. You got to get morale up. How are you going to structure training around performances? And having been, and Josh is the same in a way, because you got to remember Frankston and the VFL have sat fairly low for a lot of years.
So had some beltings along the way.
Yeah, 100%. So both of us are sort of working. He came to Nash's game early, and we were chatting about it just before about what this week looks like, given we've just had another loss, and so there is that challenge of going. You need to keep your boys up and about. You need to keep the confidence there, and but you still need to be breaking how you're playing down and modifying your game plan as such, to get those little wins along the way. But so it is a challenge. But I think that having been at both ends of the ladder, I think I've got a bit of background in.
You're well qualified to do it.
Yeah.
So your coaching philosophy, we read about the cuddle culture these days and that sort of stuff, and McRae at Collingwood and that sort of stuff, and that cuddle culture. What's your philosophy with these young men these days, mate?
Yeah, I'm very similar to him, and so is Josh, which works perfect. So we're pretty caring. Yeah, you don't often hear a bait from us. Like, we're pretty animated and we're pretty structured in the way we go about things, but we're very positive. And some of those, I've had coaches back in the days that would just drive you heavily, in their, I guess sometimes a bit of a punitive approach. But we're from just that opposite school of pumping blokes up, and I honestly believe though you can still have a stern conversation with someone. I do a lot of that stuff one-on-one. I actually, during the week, and if any of my players are listening, there was one or two that happened last week on the back of our Mount Eliza loss. There's a couple of blokes who probably needed it and took them aside and just did that conversation one-on-one and said, we need more from you because it just wasn't good enough, whether it was a body language thing or whether it was a performance thing. So you can do it. It's in footy, but I don't believe in that whole, because the whole group thing, because you can see drop aheads, you can see momentum can change in a game because you've hammered them. We're all about building them up. So that's my philosophy on it. And I think, young kids coming through all the time, I say it to young parents, when you get in the car and you talk to your young fella about his footy, ask him what he enjoyed about the game. Did you enjoy the game? What did you enjoy? What did you learn? Rather than, because you get these parents sometimes who sit there and say to kids, geez, you should have done this, you should have done that, you weren't good at this, you weren't good at that, you weren't hard enough, you didn't put... That's ridiculous, because we want kids playing this game. Get in the car, ask them how much fun they had, did they enjoy it? And that's, if they don't want to ask any more questions of you, well, let them go.
Yeah, well said, Macca.
No, that's good.
Perfect. Mate, just keep it going.
Special man.
Just keep it going. Keep it going.
A 90-minute training session at Mornington. How does it look? And we know these guys can kick and catch.
Yes.
Yeah. So how does it look?
Yeah, we look at the 3 phases of the game. I don't know if that's a bit cliche these days, but we do. We put our phases down. Last year we had a strong focus on the contest, because you look at the size of our ground. If we can do contest well, we're going to be well versed. So, but we've now, since we've come up into Divi 1, we're still doing contests, but we've moved away a little bit from it because we're looking at the style of footy we're coming up against, and we're okay at contest. I think it's probably something we're good at, so we need to look at other phases of the game now. So we're looking a little bit at transition, but as in forward transition, but inside 50s, and then how to defend those inside 50s, because you don't want to get, I think in this comp, you don't want to get too shallow at times, because you can get turned over. Mount Eliza showed us that heavily, that we were too shallow at times, and then when you get smashed on the outside with speed, you can be really hurt. So we're trying to teach and we've got a young list. Like, a lot of people might think, we lost 9 out of our premiership side. So we've brought kids in to replace that. So, I mean, Owens has come in, obviously, and Credlin's come in. But apart from that, we've got kids. So we're still teaching our brand again because the turnover's been so big. I think our numbers are the 44 that played on grand final day, seniors and development, we lost 22.
Yeah, right. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So big turnover. So I would say 90 minutes is sort of based around. We do our first. It depends on whether it's Tuesday or Thursday, but we're in doing education for the first sort of 20 to 25 minutes as a senior group. So where Josh has got the screens up, he's got every stat under the sun. We're talking about what we did well, where we can improve, and then on a Thursday night we're breaking down Oppo, and then we go out and we break our training session up into Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. We do have a one club mentality where we bring our 19s in and they're part of during the week, and we call it one club and we bring them over. And the rules are that if you're a senior player, you need to go and grab an under 19 and you need to pair up for this drill, and then you go off and you do the 4 drills together because we're about embodying these kids that are going to be playing for us.
And the senior players, they
love it.
They love it.
They love it. They get
it's hard for them to. Sometimes you get a really quiet dude like a senior player who doesn't know how to, who can't communicate basically.
Yeah.
And, they find it hard to do that, but if you can get them buying into that, it's great.
100%, and it helps on a Saturday because we've got our 19s. We've got a lot of seniors going to watch our 19s. We've got 19s hanging around to watch us, and we think that comes to that one club sort of mentality. So
we've touched on last year just briefly, but that was a meteoric sort of rise, wasn't it? It just as the year went on, the injuries, you had a pretty good run with the injuries and that sort of stuff. And the Bull was, Josh was playing great footy, and the grand final was a cracking game of footy with Sammy. We touched on that before. And Sammy looked like they were super threatening midway through that third quarter. What a year! How do you lie in bed at night and go, Jesus, that was pretty good?
I do think about it a bit because I remember when I finished at Beaconsfield in 19, 2020 was our COVID year, which I was pretty happy I wasn't coaching then. And then 21 was a bit of a bitty year, and I remember they maybe played 7 games or something. I think Langy finished on top that year. I think Mornington was second, but there was a gap because they'd lost by 100 points to them.
Okay.
And then I wanted to come back in 22, so I sort of fished around to see what was around. There wasn't a lot, but I just had this. I was watching Mornington week after week, going, geez, I'd love to end up there. And I knew Goose was there, and I didn't want to step on his toes. And he needed to coach, and he'd been there, and he's a legend of the club, and he's had great success in the past. I just wanted to. I thought if Goose wasn't going to be there, I'd love to be part of that. Mm-hmm. If he was going to continue on, well, then I'd have to look elsewhere.
Yep.
But it was a fairy tale because we did. I'm not. People might think that I'm just saying this, but Josh and I had a 3-year plan. We had a 3-year plan to win this flag, and the club was okay with it. We wanted to play finals in year 1. We wanted to be a real threat and try and win it in 2, and then if we didn't, we'd get year 3. And then we said, if we don't get it in 3 years, we'll walk. We're happy. That's our deal. Let's do it. So to get it in year 1 was. It was a fairy tale, and Sammy beat us twice. I think Hastings beat us at home when Josh didn't play in a game, which was he pulled out sort of last minute, and I reckon the boys might have dropped their heads a little bit on that. Yep. And then hands down, Pearsdale gave it to us at home once as well. So then coming in, and then obviously we lost that first final to Sammy. Yeah. And then coming in the grand final, we build it up as what have we got to lose? We've lost them twice. Yeah. We are not the favourites in this game, but we went in healthy, with a very good side, and we were only really stewing over one player, number 22, on the Thursday night. So we knew we were healthy going in. And we thought, well, we'd played well 2 weeks earlier against EDS on that ground, so we knew it well. Yep. We knew how to play it. We thought the ground suited us. Look, at halftime we were a few goals down, so we had to dig out. But it was super,
some of the underlings, speedy, and guys like Harry Bold.
Harry Bold was super. Harry Bold's very we were working on his defensive side because Harry's a super offensive player, and so he played that wing for us a bit with Matty Kane on the other side. So Matty Kane probably played more of a defensive, and Harry played the attacking. But when you got that speed on the outside, he was elite, and obviously Smarty off a back flank with his kicking.
He killed it on one leg.
He did.
He was unbelievable in that granny.
He's a gun.
Perry Lewis Smith, and we've lost all them. Like we're talking about, we haven't
Jacko.
got them. Jacko's a massive target.
He's an incredible player, Jacko.
Smarty Goose has gone to Tura with
both to Tura, good guys. And we'd love to see them back. We really would, and I think we probably will.
I think you will.
Yeah, good guys, good Mornington guys, and we didn't hold anything against them. They want to go and they want to play together somewhere else a bit. We'll let them go and get them back hopefully soon.
Correct. Last question, because we could talk for the whole afternoon, mate, really, with you, to be honest. But the gap, now you're in Division 1, meteoric, you've thrown into Division 1. Yeah. What, the gap?
Yeah, it's big. It's big. And when I said earlier Pearsdale, I think, and it'll be close in that Div 2, but I like the look of Pearsdale, and I think they would with the list they've got, they'd be okay.
They'll compete.
Yeah, I reckon they'll compete for sure. Yep. So it's big. Yep. So last year, we would come into games, and I'm no disrespect to any sides in that comp, but like I remember a game we had against Tyab last year, and they jumped us 6-1 at quarter time, and it was probably the most animated I've ever been. I sit here telling you I'm positive, but I was pretty animated. And then we've
been a bit shit for half an hour.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I have to say it.
And I think we won the game by 13 goals.
Yeah,
something like that.
It was
from quarter time on. Yeah. And so whereas you play a Lang Warren like we did yesterday, and if you're slightly off, you're in strife. Yes. And we'll talk about that game for sure soon. But you cannot be slightly off. You just can't. You can't have 4 or 5 players who are just out there and not playing their roles, because if you have that, you're going to get eaten alive in this comp. So Divi 1, super football. I was looking forward to being part of it, and I'm loving it. Don't get me wrong, even though we're not situated where we'd like to be.
But it's ramped up.
It's ramped up. It's a great challenge, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
So an extension of the gap questions. It was my second last question. This is the last one.
For God's sake.
Have you got? Is there now a 3-year plan for 2027?
You're spot on. You're spot on. So we just reassessed. We just said, well, let's look at the 3-year plan. And our bottom line this year was we don't want to come up and go back down again. We've got to set that as a yardstick number 1.
Correct.
And then we'd be looking at, let's try and get ourselves into finals, and then let's try and win this thing, in the near future. So the 3-year plan is back to exactly that.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Yeah. Macca, thank you. As I say, we could be all afternoon. Wish we could be all afternoon with you, but. Thanks for coming in, mate. We know it's a bit of an impost in bringing young Nash in as well, fresh from a game. But, mate, I hope people get something out of that, any aspiring coaches. I'm sure you'd be happy to talk to them too, Mac.
100%.
If they're not too,
I would advise, Neil, probably 6-7 years ago when I was sort of coaching under you, I rang Leigh and I went across as a learning coach and went and did Lee's pre-game. So if there's anyone, young coaches that want to learn a bit, I'm sure Macca would be happy to show some. Because he's such a good coach. So for young guys that want to learn about how to really structure a pre-game, what they do at halftime, Newey and Macca are doing a great job. And I think they're the best coach team in the Peninsula, just the way they structure up and stuff. So
you didn't say that before.
No. Yes, I certainly did. I certainly did.
Exactly.
It's
very interesting.
They're a great footy club and they're coached well. And anyone that wants to learn should try and get around Newey and Macca, because they will learn a lot about the game.
Macca, you're a ripper. Thank you.
Absolutely. This has been the Coach's Corner on the Halftime Heroes. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with Division 1 football.
When your loved ones live alone, it's concerning. So I had no problem changing providers when I saw a better option.
Whether it's helping the aged maintain their independence or providing an approved NDIS package for someone with a disability, a visit from one of Aftercare's qualified personal carers can make all the difference. Aftercare prides itself on tailoring personalised service to the aged and those with disabilities, and has done for 21 years. If someone you love could receive better care in their own home, call Aftercare on 1300 464663 or visit after-care.com.au.
Changing was the best thing we ever did.
So let our family help your family.
Are you tired of spending endless hours on property maintenance? Look no further. Introducing Askanish, your premium solution for high-end property maintenance. Our expert team with years of golf course experience specialises in broadacre spraying and large area mowing, ensuring your property maintains its pristine condition. Say goodbye to hassle and say g'day to perfection with Askanish. To find out more, call Rob on 0407 362 328.
Welcome back to Halftime Heroes, the latest on local sport across the Mornington Peninsula.
Welcome back to the Halftime Heroes. It's now time for Division 1 football, and we're going to get straight into it with Lang Warren. Hosted the Mornington Football Netball Club at Lloyd Park. Got a little bit pasted, and we can't wait to hear from Macca on this one. 68, played 46.
Not happy, Leigh.
We'll go back to that, will we?
No, let's do it now.
All right.
Not happy.
Straight into it. Wow, we've just heard the brilliance that was the Coach's Corner. Let's see why they lost. Take it away, Macca, please.
Oh,
sorry, mate, to bring it back up.
Yeah, it's a bit of it's not nice waking up on the back of that, but we We went in fairly confident, but Langy would have too. Like, let's be honest. Like, we're both sides that are sort of, not at the moment sitting in that top 5. So we're in that next 5, and I think we knew Langy had, they hadn't won a game and we'd won one, but really, that's the only difference. You're talking 4 points. So I suppose they saw it as an opportunity. So did we. We had a good side in, so sort of no excuses from us. But we have started slow again. And we know that's a problem that we've got to have a bit of a look at and work on over during the week, and whether we change things up a little bit or what we do before the game.
How do you do that?
We think that's so our training will look a little bit different this week. So we've identified a couple of areas that we want to really focus on this week. So I won't say too much about that.
Yeah, what are they, Maga?
Sitting opposite. So we've identified a couple of areas we're going to really hone in on, and we're going to be pretty succinct. So we're not going to really give them a lot. We're going to focus on those couple of areas, and then we're going to change a little bit of what we do on the Saturday. Yeah, we're going to just modify it a little bit, because you can't keep. We haven't kicked the first goal all year, and we've given these guys a head start again. And we chased them down. We stayed in it the whole day, and we got to a point of momentum swung heavily in the third. We've got a couple of different modes of defence, and we changed our defence late, sort of towards into that third, and it swung the game a bit, and we felt like we were running on top of the ground. And there was a big momentum swing in the start of the fourth that probably cost us a little bit. You never look at sort of individual, things that happen in the game and pinpoint that one person for it. It's just a swing that happened within the game, and was that an undisciplinary act or something? No, it wasn't. It was just a decision. It was a decision making. I guess if one of our players had his time again, he wouldn't have done that, because 99 times out of 100 he wouldn't do that. And then that would have put us 10 points up, and then I think they went end to end, which was a 12-point turnaround. And then you're talking about a young Leigh Warren. They've got a big crowd. I think they might have had Ladies' Day on there. There's a lot of noise up on the balcony. And the noise, you could hear it. Credit to them. And it was a bit like, they had the sail up, and we just couldn't stop it after that. So credit to them. Well coached. We tried a lot of things against them, and wasn't our day. So it was quite disappointing, to be honest, for us, because it would have been great to, jump 2 wins ahead of them, and would have set us up a bit, but it certainly sets up a big game this week for us against the Bombers.
But like every good coaching career, you've gone to work.
We have gone to work.
We've had back to the whiteboard.
Ironically, our meeting this morning was at Nash's under-12s game. So we're very lucky. A lot of our players turn up to watch the kids, and we had a few players there and some of the coaching staff. So we've already started the planning, and there's a lot of messages flying around in our coaches chat, and we've set up the week. And as Luke and I were chatting about just before, we'll wait for the vision to come out, and we pretty much all us coaches have a different role to play with that vision, and Chris Holcomb puts it all together and delivers it to all the boys this week, and we all have our bits and pieces to do with that, and we'll set up to try and foil the Bombers' plans, and we look forward to it. We call it.
They would be hard to foil, mate.
Yeah, we call it the Rico Cup.
Yeah, the Hayden Rickson Cup. The Rico Cup this week, officially the Rico Cup. It is going to be on for young and old.
Down at the Bombrays.
Yep.
Right.
Rico will be having a fair bit to say. Should be a fun. Should be a fun day. I found Lang Warren. I know you didn't play against them last year, Macca, but they were pretty good on the outside. Like, they were squeezing us into the contest all the time, and they owned the outside of stoppages.
Yeah, they do that.
And they took us 2.5 quarters to sort of get it right. They've improved a lot. So it's not...
They've been good this year.
No, you can't just rock up now and just tick off a win. They're going to be every time they're hard to beat. So it's frustrating as it is. They're going a bit better than what their ladders... Like, every team's hard to beat. So
they actually are. We never... Like, we knew that. We talked about how good they would be on the outside, and we had to... They do own the outside, and, they set with, Churcher sits up behind the footy, and they use... Valla,
he's a good player. Elite God, is he a good player? Have you seen him play, Neil?
No.
Great player.
He's a super
Beautiful
player.
kick of the footy.
Valla,
Valla from Cranny.
Come from Cranny originally, went to Berwick.
But Valla Quarries, they used to work with his dad.
Very good player. So, and look, they structurally they look good. They play at a breakneck speed.
They go fast, don't they?
Very fast, which sometimes tends themselves to turn out a lot of turnovers. So you've got to hurt them on those turnovers. But one thing I'll say that I saw them do really well yesterday, and credit to I don't think they got their co-coaches. Credit to their coaching staff, because they went fast, but obviously that gives them territory, and they set up well behind it. So you can try and slingshot them, but they actually do set up well. I watched that game against Sereno in depth, and I could see even from the vision I was watching that how well they were set up, and Sereno on the turnover had to go slow, and it took them 3 and a bit quarters to break Langy open the week before. Langy could have beaten Sereno the week before.
Yeah, no, they're going all right.
Good on them.
Good stuff.
could this be the turning point for the Langwarrin Football Netball Club? Who knows? Next game on for round 5 in Division 1 football was Dramana, of course, taking on your boys, Spook, the Frankston Bombers, 126 to 59.
Tough.
And thanks to Macco, I forgot to mention, thank you for breaking down that loss. It's not easy talking about a loss. Your turn now.
Yeah, they're a great footy club, Dramana. They were missing a fair few players too, and we were. But similar to Macco, our starts have been poor, so we had a real focus during the week. We changed some things, different pre-game. We tried a few things, and we started well. We thought we had played him for the first quarter. We should have been up a quarter time, just behind. And then just the maturity of the group, and as the pressure got on, and they changed. They went from they had a zone in the first. They pressed hard with their zone in the first quarter. They just went man on man second quarter because we were using our 45s a bit, so they pissed off their zone and went man on man. Yeah. We started turning the ball over a bit. Khan didn't play. We didn't have him down the line, and then we were sort of we punted a bit and they outnumbered. And if every single time the ball hits the ground, they outnumber you. Every time.
Yeah, they pop out.
Doesn't matter where. It's like they come out of the fucking sprinklers.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And just their ability. So before, at a stoppage, they hit two. Before they've even got it, it's gone. And the blokes on the outside are gone. And if you're off a little bit, you turn your head as a midfielder, watching for a split second. It's
50 metres away.
Yeah. It's too late.
That balance, isn't it? What we were talking about before. That balance. If you're on your toes.
Yeah, well, they are. They've got 5 blokes on their toes. Really,
ready to sprint it.
Throughout the weeks, you've mentioned that you're super young. So it's a work in progress, isn't it?
Oh, now there's still lots of positives to come out of it. We'll go through the tape like Mac, and even in a loss, we'll show them what they do well. We've just got plenty of areas you need to work on. And the hard part when you've got a young group, there's so many little areas you want to fix. You've just got to try and, like Macca suggested, there's probably 2 or 3 things you've got to get right for now.
Keep it narrow.
Keep it narrow, get them right, and once you get that right, then you can sort of progress from there and add some layers to it. So, but we can't wait to play Mornington. It's going to be a fun game.
It will be.
By the sounds
very good.
We've got a very similar problem. We're both really tough around the middle, big bodies, but our ability to get the ball from inside to outside's a weakness of ours. Talking to Rico, sounds like
it's pretty much spot on with us too.
And the offensive spread, like Dramana, Mount Eliza, YC, they're winning footy. And just off they go in a wave. We're trying to be that way, but not quite there yet. Obviously, Mornington might be a bit similar. So it should be...
they're established groups, those other clubs, aren't they? They're well established. They've been playing with each other since I would, Nash's age.
Yeah.
So would you say as two sides that, strengths aren't that kind of style of play, you obviously want to get there, is it then who wins that will win the game?
Well, it depends.
Obviously, a little bit more to it, but
we can come up against Dramana and Mount Eliza, and you can have your contested ball numbers. Hey, we won, but their uncontested mark game and handball receives are up through the roof, and you get smashed. So it doesn't always just because you win the inside battle doesn't mean you're going to win the game.
Yep.
We've won plenty of 1 metre wars over
totally,
the journey and not
still lose.
Not got the win.
Exactly. Yeah. You've got to have 5-6 years ago. You could probably get away with just have some big balls around the middle, but teams are so good at exiting stoppage now. You need to exit with some width and have good looks at your forwards because teams defend so well. If you're just dumping it in there out of stoppage, dumping it all the time, teams are rolling that winger back, mark it, and off they go. So you've just got to be a bit smarter about the way you can out of stoppage.
And I suppose that footy too, like if you win the 1 metre war and you kick it forward, if a side's really good as you press up, sides then that creates space over the top. So then if you go fat side and then go deep, there's open pockets behind it.
Yes.
So sides sometimes are happy to lose the 1 metre wall. So players push up so that they've got that open space out the back. And unless you set up your defence really well to cover that, some sides just push up with it and then you get hurt on the turnover.
Has the quality of coaching and the technology used ever been better?
Not for local footy.
I don't reckon local footy. I reckon the quality of coaching, other than you two, and you. Other than you, Luke, you're the exception.
Shit trouble.
And the technology that's used.
We did beat Mount Eliza a few times.
Has never been better. Has never been better.
You remember when you coached and Prem Data just started?
It was. When
I went over to see Lee was doing this himself 6-7 years ago at Beaky, and Lee was way ahead of the game. He had everything going. So people are catching up. Everyone's professional now. Well, I would suggest most people are professional to the coaching. You've just got to do it now. If you don't do your work on the Oppo, and they've got 2 or 3 strengths that you do not try to take away from them or be aware of them, and your players don't know, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah, 100%.
Mornington will know exactly how we play. They know our strengths. They know our weaknesses. I know theirs. Every team knows. It's the ability to get that message across to your playing group and have them go and execute.
How many hours did you spend on the Oppo?
For me or all the... Geez, if I can...
Everyone. 25 a week.
Including Shane Ramsey.
Yeah.
Shane.
That's another.
It's funny too because Josh is not a football head. Believe it or not,
Really?
he is not. Like, he's obviously got a brother that plays at Carlton. He would like. When I spoke to him about coming here, he wanted to go down the surf instead. Like, he is not a football head.
Yeah.
He'll talk to you about it, but he's happy for myself and Hulks and Rico and Welshie and us to do, and Adam Heath. Like, he'll be happy for us to do all the work during the week. Yeah. He will know a bit about it, and then he'll listen. He absorbs. Yeah. But he's not necessarily a footy head or sit and watch the game. And I do. I'll sit and I've got a very understanding wife, and I sit and I watch it over and over and over again, and I'll see little things, and then Hulks and I, or Rico and I, Welshie, will be texting back and forward to say, this is what we're saying, how about this, how about that, and then it all gets put together via those conversations. And Hulks has a history in this comp, so he knows sides quite well from what he's seen, and then we just add layers into it, and then he delivers. But I'd hate to know, to be honest. Like, I don't know.
40 to 50 hours probably a week between the lot of you.
Yeah, I reckon. Let's say probably 40 to 50.
It's madness.
It's madness.
It's such a selfless job.
Yeah.
Coaching. It's
But no
not
one,
great all the time.
No one should ever even question the coin that's on tables for these coaches, as far as I'm concerned, with those kinds of numbers.
Oh, you couldn't pay Macca enough, no way.
No, exactly.
Could you, Macca?
Or you, Spook.
It's a bit of a running joke at our club with that. Rico always wonders where his paycheck's coming, but he does a lot. He does a lot. He does a lot.
You got to give him.
Does it for the love of the game.
No, exactly. Bucket of chips.
He is a midfield coach, so I'm going to put a challenge out to Rico. There's going to be a contested ball and clearance. We're going to have a bet. If we win clearances and contested ball, he's going to owe me some sort of substantial amount of money. So it's just me and Rico going at it. It's midfield to midfield. Rico, it's me and you, and it's on.
For a bloke who told me he doesn't like to talk to players, he does a lot of talking.
He does,
on
Rico.
A Tuesday and Thursday
He
with
does
the
a lot,
players. He doesn't
Rico.
like the whole group, but he likes his midfield.
He's very close with his boys, Rico. So it should be fun.
Good.
If you're just tuning into the Halftime Heroes, we've got Leigh MacQuillen, Senior Assistant Coach, Football Director from the Mornington Football Netball Club. We're talking about Division 1 football, and I'm loving the content. If this is your first time tuning into Halftime Heroes, it's only going to get better, so make sure you jump on board. You can check us out on Facebook and whatnot. Spook?
YC, I absolutely spruiked Red Hill last week and said they're certainly to make finals, and YC have just gone absolutely whack.
Statement time.
Jeez, what the F
that score shocked me, because Red Hill are going very well.
Mate, that shocked me. I was keeping an eye on that yesterday, and that absolutely shocked me.
Jeez, 11 goals.
You haven't played Red Hill yet, or
no? So I won't comment on Red Hill. But I'll comment on YC and say that for the first, I think they were 8-1 up on us, but we got back on them. We got within 10 points and could have possibly got it done, but they finished us off on their ground. Very well drilled unit. But I won't comment on Red Hill because I haven't seen them yet. But certainly YC, they're a good side.
Bloody oath. Goons was a bit disappointed when I spoke to him after our game in their second halves, and you can see there that he was a bit disappointed. They should have probably put us away, and then this week it must have been a focus because they've scored another 50 at half time and another 50 after half time.
Correct.
So
I reckon YC's got a bit of rabbit in the headlights. I mean, these young guys come up against these guys.
Deer in the headlights?
9, whatever it is, but deer.
Deer in the
kangaroo,
headlights?
Whatever it is.
Kangaroo.
And they get out there and think, this bloke's won 8 or 9 premierships, and I've got no right to play on him. And that sort of. I reckon that there's a bit of that with YC.
There's probably a 2 or 3 goals.
No, of course not.
There's a 2 or 3 goal advantage that a club like YC, Rock Up and Dramona, there's an expectation you win.
Yeah.
There's an expectation you're ready to go. There's an expectation you prepare well. We're all trying to get to that, but there's the consistency. They just roll up every week and they're there for 25 years.
Shit.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Just one little
great footy club. Great footy club. And then this is the important one, isn't
it?
It is. Let's discuss this one.
I wanted to leave this for you, Spook.
Here we go, the red legs. A little bit soft around the edges still, the boys. Just touched up around the contested footy.
And you're probably very happy to know that Leigh MacQuillen probably won the game for him.
Oh, Leigh, did he?
Oh, he took a good contested mark with...
He didn't jump, did he?
Half a foot. Chest mark.
Chesty.
Good contested mark, and converted from sort of 30 metres out with a couple of minutes to go. They were 3 or 4 points behind. Goes back in the middle. I only saw the last 40 minutes of the game. But it goes back to the middle. Clearance, Matalise it. Goal squared. There might have been Ziggy flew to the air. Wasn't quite paid a mark. Hits the deck siren.
Yeah.
So
a lot of scoring shots.
Good game. They were 35 points behind when I got there. This is Matalise were 35 points behind. Worked their way back into it just by grunt. And I don't think they lacked any. Sereno were good.
Yeah, they had the ruckman, big Buxton.
Good.
Big boy,
he's the difference.
Did you see him, Lee?
He's the difference.
Yeah, I've only seen him on the
and
some of the
mobile.
footage, but he's
big bastard mobile.
Yeah,
he moves well.
Gets around. Yeah.
For those that are just joining us, of course, you say it's the only time of the year that you what?
That was the only time of the year I'd barrack for Mount Eliza.
Correct.
Yeah, I did.
No, Sorrento. The only time so you were barracking.
No, I'm
but
happy
you
to jump on
Sorrento.
and off. I'm happy to jump on and off either team, depending on the week. But they're both not biggest fans of either. But look at it. I'd suggest if you look at the scoring shots, they've gone inside 50. I'd imagine a fair bit more. They probably just haven't finished off. They've had they kicked 13, 15 to 15, 5. So they probably should have won the game. Yeah, they're going well. Ricky's going to play.
When you're as good as Mount Eliza, everyone wants to hate you.
Oh my God! Listen to this bloke.
It's as simple as that, isn't it?
Jeez.
Little thing called tall poppy.
He becomes.
Ever heard of that, Luke? Tall poppy. Say it for me.
No.
Tall
I would understand if Mount Eliza have actually achieved anything in the last 25 years, we'd have a reason to actually think that you're good. But at the moment, you haven't won a flag as long as anyone else. Not likewise.
I think we'll just go in a holding pattern with that, mate.
You can see that he's on the payroll now, can't you?
He's doing interviews. He's loving it.
He's doing socials.
I find that interesting because I'm a Collingwood supporter.
Yes.
So
of course you are.
It was nice to beat the Blues.
That's
That's the positive of the weekend for me from footy.
Yes.
But you talk about you love to hate Collingwood, or people love to hate Collingwood,
Yeah.
but then you get a guy like Craig McRae come in and you go, hold on, we've got a bit of a soft spot for it.
Yep.
Ricky Johnson, similar sort of thing.
Yes.
Totally. Ricky's such a good guy. I mean, even this morning, he's lost the game of footy I've seen as then his young fella's lost, and he's got the biggest smile on his face you've ever seen.
Yeah.
So you're talking about positivity. Like, surely that, people... Ricky just brings that. He's the same as Craig McRae, and he brings that smile.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think at the end of the day, I mean, look at Craig McRae during the last post. He's in tears.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an emotional guy. I don't know how Ricky goes in the last post, but they understand it's a game. We're all playing a game.
Yeah.
We're not going to be shot against the wall.
Right.
Right.
Spot on.
It's a game. Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy each other's company. Get in after, have a beer and chat, that sort of stuff. And Ricky's got a really good handle and has the club embracing that whole
it's
thing.
fantastic.
It's just a bloody game.
Yeah.
If we happen to be good at it, super, and that's what we work hard towards. But they represent the community fantastically well.
Yeah,
Everyone within the MPFNL is doing a great job in doing that.
And the last game to round out round 5, of course, Rosebud took on the Pines at Olympic Park, and my boys are Rosebuds.
Good call, Adam.
Buds got up.
Pines are woo.
Yeah, look, they are, aren't they? I didn't have an opportunity to get down there. I was otherwise in the city doing some other things.
What were you doing?
Well, with just the Dale and I we went to see Chicago on the Friday
Did you
night.
like Chicago?
Mate, it was unbelievable.
Was it?
It was.
Didn't see Guernsey. He's a very cultural man.
Yeah, I know.
Very
I saw Wicked the week before.
Wicked
was very good too. So that's for the latter half of the Halftime Heroes separate show comes up. Discuss about. I'm only bullshitting. And that rounds out. Well, did you say that I tipped Rosebud?
You did.
Yeah, okay.
You
Hey,
did.
I reckon this Division 1 final series is going to be an absolute belter.
Yeah, it will be.
Because they're so...
Correct.
There's 5 points between 4 or 5 teams. It's just going to be an absolute ripper.
Yeah, that top. Well, you've got genuine Dramana, Frankston, YC, Sorrento, and Mount Eliza would think are all genuine chances at this stage.
Correct.
The Red Hill lost maybe fractionally below those 4, but those 4 can all win it. From what I've seen.
Yeah.
So whereas last year it was pretty much Dramana were going to win it by far.
Commish takeaways for Div 1, please, if any.
Oh, well, Mount Eliza getting rolled by
Sorrento at home.
And they hate each other now.
Was
there any?
Oh no.
It's blue cheese.
I left quickly because
it's expensive blue cheese versus expensive caviar, isn't it? Like it's one or the other.
It's such a cheap, shitty shot.
No, it's the best. It's so good.
For mine, the top 5, other than Red Hill, has got and that might be for me, but it's got a really familiar look about it, doesn't it? You got Dramana, YC, Sorrento, Mount Eliza.
It's already starting to really take shape. No, exactly.
It's got a real...
It's exactly right. My takeaway is Red Hill. Where are they at? I think they're on notice now. Have they been fluffing for the last few weeks? I think not. YC turned up to play. John Coburn Oval, home crowd.
Statement time for YC.
I think it was statement time for sure. Spook, takeaway for you, please.
If
any.
Yeah, the Mount Eliza result, slightly surprising. The Langwarrin, I didn't think Langwarrin would get over the top of Mornington.
No, neither did I.
And Pines are a bit strange. They've got some good players. They've had a couple of really strong hit-outs and strong games, and then they've dropped a couple that you would expect them to not drop. So, as Leigh said earlier, if you turn up in Division 1 slightly off, even for 10 or 15 minutes, and it's 4 goals, and then you're like, oh, here we go, now we're in trouble. So,
exactly.
It's a tough comp to play in.
Leigh MacQuillen, for you, takeaways round 5, please, in Division 1?
Yeah, well, I'll go a little bit different because you guys are talking about the top of the table, and that's 100%. We look at that, and I don't disagree with any of that. I guess from our point of view, we're looking at the fact that obviously Langwarrin are a lot better side than people might have thought they were. I certainly didn't discount that, but they're a very good side. Got a good look at them, and we were watching that Rosebud Pines game as well because that could have gone either way. I know Delmo's back playing at Pines, which is a big in for them, but credit to Rosebud. They had a couple of boys who got suspended against us, which they missed a couple of games, and then they were back for this one, so they were big ins, I think. So Rosebud at home was I think a pretty solid win for them. So
100%.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Macca. Let's jump straight into round 6 with Frankston taking on Mornington. It's the battle of the coaches. I love it. Of course, this will be played at Frankston Baxter Park.
We're expecting a few back. No point in hiding it from Mac. We've had a few. I'm not sure where Macca's the Mornington boys are at, but we expect to get 3 or 4 back. Pretty important to us, so that'd be good. But again, young team. We're not necessarily coaching about the wins and losses. It's just how we want to play. The wins will come as a result of it. So we'll review the game, look at Mornington. A couple of the things we want to work on, we probably need to get right, and then go out and have a crack. But it'll be a very similar brand. We play a pretty similar brand of footy. Big on the inside, got some forwards, and it'll be the team that can get the ball to the outside and get the ball moving. Because we're both struggling to get the ball on the outside.
Just look at Macca's eyes. He's just like it's like he's just
taking it all in.
It's like he's in the Matrix and he's plugged in and he's just sort of taking it all in.
There's a potential battle. I would like to think that 2 of the biggest ball midfielders in the comp with Newey and Flex going at it. So that's going to be a great. We should just put them together and say, boys, beat the shit out of each other.
It's funny. We were speaking about that this morning. We just said, let them go 1 for 1. Like, that's what you want to see, don't you?
They both won't defend.
No defending.
Just go and get 40 kicks each.
Exactly.
Do you send anyone to Newey? Or don't?
No, look, I haven't tagged. We haven't tagged yet. We've done a couple of I
think that's done now, isn't it?
It's tough. Done. Structurally, when you go right away from put a dead set tag on someone, it's really hard then to set up structures. So unless he gets off the chain, we'll probably do something.
He probably will at some stage.
Oh well, no doubt he will. He's a great player. Yeah. So that should be good. I haven't had a good look at their midfield now they're set up, and obviously I watched them last year a little bit. How's the ruckman going? He's handy.
Big Hicksy goes all right.
H is in good form. Big Harry's in some form.
Yeah, goes all right. Yeah. And young Bloomy backing him up. So
cool.
Yeah, we know you've got you've got a pretty handy ruckman there, so it's going to be we'll be up against it there. But the boys will have a good go against him. So
he's a great player.
We get. I mean, Credlin. We miss Credlin a bit this week.
Yeah,
back this week. So.
Damn it.
He's a handy guy for us, but we too. We'll probably have a couple of changes to be honest too.
Yeah,
like we have been pretty consistent with the side we've had in lately, and there's a couple of people knocking on the door. So it's about time we open the door and give them an opportunity.
Nice.
Yep.
So, Macca, when do you go to these bigger grounds, which is pretty much every away game? But Frankston being a fairly sizable, quite a fat ground, do you change? Do you necessarily change the way you play, or do you want to get more spread? Or
we've got with the way we play, with our game style and our game plan. We just talk about the width more than anything because we don't have the width at home. So we've got the certain way we attack our ground and defend our ground, and we do it. I was saying before, we've got a couple of different modes of defence. So we defend differently at home to how we defend it away.
You have to.
We have to.
It's totally different game.
Absolutely.
And from an attacking sense, we probably you can sometimes pick a couple of different players who will be suited to the bigger ground as compared to the you have to have a bit of size around you on our ground. So you might change, might get a couple more runners into the game, when we're playing away like Nick, or even yesterday, but playing on those bigger grounds. But you're right, literally every time we play away, we're on a big ground.
Yeah, it's a different game,
maybe it's a different game.
Dramanis, that's a weird ground. It's so small.
Yeah.
It's like 1.5. You're literally 1.5, but you get a kick out from full-back, one handball receive, and he's inside 50.
Correct.
Really easy.
Yeah.
And how
I watched the first quarter the other day, Rosebud Dramana, which was good to see. I had to shoot off to I went in the AFL afterwards, but I was watching that first quarter going, geez, good footy. And Rosebud were up for it, in that first quarter. But I agree with you, that Dramana, I know I'm going back to an old side, but Dramana, wow, when Artie's, I had him at Beaconsfield there before he was with Richmond. Yeah. He is literally another coach right there, the way he runs that midfield. Super player.
Very interesting. Great insight from you, Macca. Thank you. Red Hill taking on Lang Warren at Red Hill Rec Reserve there. This is set to be a cracking game
Great
too.
game of footy.
Red Hill obviously coming off a disappointing loss, and Lang Warren getting the job done, Macca, obviously over your boys. This is going to be a good game.
They'll bounce back, Red Hill.
Yeah, so but they're embarrassed. 11 goals is embarrassing.
Jamie.
Red Hill, they were going all right.
Very well coached team. You'll sort them out.
Talking about a big ground.
The biggest.
Foggy, smoggy. Can't see the other end most of the time. And bloody fog.
You'd fit Mornington into that ground 3 times.
We would.
we would. It's crazy.
I think the week we play Red Hill, we're going to have to find somewhere else to train. And it's it'll be an interesting one to plan for.
No, very interesting. It's a stupid bloody split round going on this week, boys. But Rosebud taking on Mount Eliza at Olympic Park. Mount Eliza, they're going to come out strong.
They are, but Rosebud have had a good win against Pines. Everyone loves to beat Pines, and you always feel a fair bit better for it. So they'll be up and about, Rosebud. They'll be hard. They'll be hard. They're harder. We think Mount Eliza would be good.
Big deck. I would imagine it'll be competitive early, but once the ball gets big ground, Mount Eliza will just absolutely slice them open. That's a big deck. I wouldn't want to be playing Mount Eliza on race.
No, absolutely. It breaks my heart.
But form's everything, Luke, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's a big.
I think it depends who you're playing.
A bit of confidence, a bit of form.
Yeah. If all the VFL boys got back, that'd be a chance. But coming Mount Eliza dropping a game they shouldn't have. Ricky had to put the screws into them. They'll win that game. Yeah. They'll bounce back pretty well, I reckon. Put a massive hole on them.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Adam, I know you love your Rose.
Yeah, no, I do love the Buds, but I tend to agree with that. There was a game last year in the latter half of the season. Rosebud were taking on YCW, and I think that was the time where they belted them by 86 points, and you could just see, and Mount Eliza are very similar around stoppages, so quick, and they just can't keep up. It's they're a fairly new team, lost some old heads, and they're just sort of getting it together now, and I think that's why they match up so well against the Pines, because they play similar style of football, they're bigger bodies win the contest, where Mount Eliza are so quick underfoot. It's a very different game of football.
Probably never been fitter either, the Mount Eliza boys.
Yes,
probably got a couple of yards on nothing.
I can imagine.
Super fit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Cass has got him out there just run, you dogs. Wouldn't she?
She's a bit harsh.
Oh, mate, she rules with an iron fist. Don't you worry about that.
But the game of the round, obviously us at Mornington, the Rico Cup, but Sorrento and Dramana's an absolute belter.
Wow, that's a good segue,
That's
Spook.
a bloody belting game.
Because that does lead us straight into the selection table for the halftime heroes, Spook. Thanks for that. Take it away, please. Sorrento taking on Dramana at the David McFarlane Reserve down there is south. It doesn't get much more south.
Very contrasting game styles, but if Billy Gertz didn't play yesterday, and if Billy's out again against Big Buxton, that'll really tip the scales in towards Sorrento, I reckon. I mean, Dramana are an exceptional team, but if Billy's not playing and Buxton can start giving Miles and Gladman and those boys first use, and they're getting an inside 50 and getting some good looks out of there, I reckon they might be a bit better game than people think this one. They're in some form, Sorrento. Better this year.
They play a good brand of footy, Sorrento.
Yeah, they always have now. We love to pot them.
It's a good brand to watch.
Yeah, they'll be a real good game. Brand. But Dramana's ability, I'd love to go and watch them train, because their handballing is just out of this world. It's like watching Richmond in the 2017.
Yeah,
just forward handball, and they just instinctively give it. They don't even know someone's there after time. They really don't. Incredible team to watch. Love watching them play. So, pleasure to coach against you, Dramana. Well done.
Pick a winner?
I think Dramana will win. I think Sorrento could possibly beat them, but I think Dramana will win the game.
I think Dramana will win too.
Yep.
It's hard to tip against Dramana, isn't it? But Sorrento go about it pretty nicely. If they get it on their terms for any more than half a game, you can't stop them.
A lot of good players. Dylan Clark, Miles Baholke, Lee.
Yeah.
Good players.
Yeah.
Gladman's a great player. Gladman's a very good player. Bucks
actually,
Brigden down back, good player.
Shannon Gladman, I'm not sure it's coming up, but he's overseas. They lose two, and one of them is Shannon Gladman. I'm not sure if it's next week or the week after, but he's going overseas for a few weeks. So
great news.
That's good intel for us. I reckon.
Beautiful. Yes,
I do know Shannon, so I might actually confirm that with his principal down there at Rye Primary School.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, bloody great player.
They're not going to Mexico, are they?
No, he's a teacher there.
Yeah,
Lockie Featherston's the principal.
Yes,
he's actually got two Sorrento boys, and he's got Nathan Heath from my side as well. So he's his staff footy side to go right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
God.
And then I don't know what to make of this. The Pines taking on Frankston at Eric Bell Reserve. King's birthday weekend on the 8th of June. I think we just park that for now.
Yeah, YC win that. Comfortably.
I mean, we talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about next week. Yeah,
the week after and the week after.
June?
Yeah. It's round 6. It's weird.
Have a bye and play the week after.
Yeah.
Stranger.
Yeah.
Aren't we in May?
Well, it's not even the week. Exactly. It's not even the week after.
Yeah,
so I don't know what's
weird.
going on there. Maybe Player HQ not doing us any favours for round 6. Well, that has been the Division 1 part of Halftime Heroes football show. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with Spook's Soapbox and the Wrap.
When your loved ones live alone, it's concerning. So I had no problem changing providers when I saw a better option.
Whether it's helping the aged maintain their independence or providing an approved NDIS package for someone with a disability, a visit from one of Aftercare's qualified personal carers can make all the difference. Aftercare prides itself on tailoring personalised service to the aged and those with disabilities and has done for 21 years. If someone you love could receive better care in their own home, call Aftercare on 1300 464663 or visit after-care.com.au.
Changing was the best thing we ever did.
So let our family help your family.
Are you tired of spending endless hours on property maintenance? Look no further. Introducing Askanish, your premium solution for high-end property maintenance. Our expert team with years of golf course experience specialises in broadacre spraying and large area mowing, ensuring your property maintains its pristine condition. Say goodbye to hassle and say g'day to perfection with Askanish. To find out more, call Rob on 0407 362 328.
Welcome back to Halftime Heroes, the latest on local sport across the Mornington Peninsula.
Welcome back to the Halftime Heroes. It's now time for Spook's Soapbox with a difference. Because he's not doing it. He's got nothing.
I'm positive.
You got zip, you got donuts. Captain Positive.
Yeah,
just this
positive.
week.
No, okay. I like that. I like that from you. No, absolutely.
I need to be in a good frame of mind. We've got a big job to do this week.
But, hey, can I just point out to yourself and to the Halftime Heroes family, just because you're on your soapbox, it doesn't need to be nego.
Oh, it could be a positive one.
Oh, absolutely it can be. It's just your time to shine. You're up.
I'll give you a positive little bit of a thing. I'd like to give hats off to Zach Merritt at the Essendon Footy Club. He's captaining our club. We've been a long time since Essendon's had someone lead really well, and we're playing, so I know everyone's, who cares about Essendon, but we've been down for a long time getting smashed by you flogs and we're drug cheats and all this. It's good to see a captain leading from the front and playing good, tough footy, which is what Essendon hasn't been for a long time.
But then you've got Sam Draper coming out over the weekend.
Oh, that was taken out of context. And guess what? He's right. The Bulldogs players don't like Bevo, so shut up. That's what. There's me soapbox. Let the AFL players actually have a voice, and if they say something offensive, just shut the F up.
Well, Scotty didn't like it, did he?
Yeah, no. Calm down, Brad. Anyway, Anyway, you go now. You give it a nice negative.
Well, just on behalf, because Macca won't do it. I know he wants to, but
he told you about it.
He seconded it.
No comment. No comment.
Jumped up and down.
Great counsel at Mornington.
Yeah. Just the Mornington Peninsula Shah down there. Just wake up to yourselves. I mean, they've got this beautiful new rooms down there that's going to be handed over to the club sometime in June, July, or mid-year. And they haven't allowed a veranda to be built out the front. I mean, people come to the footy or go into the club rooms, folks, to watch footy out in the ground. And they've given them this little area that's no bigger than 4 or 5 metres long, with an area that potentially can be a veranda, but the club have to do it themselves. I mean, come on. Just wake up to yourselves, people. It just these kids that come out of uni making these decisions, these town planners, whoever they are, Adam.
Yes.
For goodness sakes. Actually go out and visit the site and have a look what the site's fucking for.
Do you reckon
and it's for people to watch football.
Do you reckon they've ever watched a game of local football?
Would not know where the ground was.
A woke town planner from uni? No, not at all.
No.
She would have blue hair.
On behalf of the Mornington Football Club, for Christ's sake, Shire, wake up to where you are. Look after your people. They're all ratepayers down there, and you're pretty handy at taking the money, but you're not so bloody good at giving it out.
Yeah, exactly. Well done, Neil.
Macca, hey, cop that. That's what you wrote down for me, is that
I actually jump in and say I had no comment on that because we've lived in a little box for a year and a half, and it's
it hasn't hurt you.
No, it hasn't hurt us, but I'm looking forward to getting those rooms. I tell you, we walked into Langwarren yesterday, super super. Like even
Very
the away
impressive.
rooms, we
Yeah,
thought
good,
that was a sweet for us.
Yep.
And then looking at, I'd have to admit though, looking at their balcony was
Exactly.
super.
Yeah.
Like,
That was my
amazing.
point.
Yeah,
Different
amazing.
council.
Yes.
Yeah, different council.
Any,
Different council.
any slag on the back of the neck or anything?
I kept away from that balcony. There was a lot going on up
A
there.
bit of
and I did hear
warm water.
Warm water.
She thought,
This tastes like cold draft, but it's warm.
That's not tea.
big fans of me, the old Lang Warren boys.
Yeah, no, they are.
Good setup. That's beautiful.
it's a great setup.
There you go,
It's really nice down there.
Well done, Neil. Well said.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thank you to you, Commish, for taking that on board. Well, that is a wrap from the Halftime Heroes. Leigh MacQuillen, Macca, thank you for joining us all the way from down the road
mate.
at Mornington Football
Fantastic,
Club.
Macca.
Absolutely, mate. Thanks for the content.
Thanks,
it was absolutely fantastic. No one else to thank. Just a special mention. We record, we record at all different times, but on this particular day, it's my brother, of course, Toe Punt, who pretty much started all this with the MPFNL. It's his 6-year anniversary today, so... It's normally a day that we don't like to. It's normally a day we don't like to remember, but I've been tagged a bit today over social. So thanks to him. This is always gonna happen. Good luck. Round 6 coming up. There's lots going on in Division 1 and Division 2.
Maybe I'll do a little bit of a Halftime Heroes interview with Macca after
Could
the
you?
game.
I like that.
But maybe if
I
we win,
like that.
I'll interview Macca. If Macca wins, he can interview me.
I like that. We'll do that.
We'll do a bit of a joint one.
No, I like that a lot. Just a reminder, if you do want to jump on board the Halftime Heroes, please send an email to halftimeheroes.mpfnl@gmail.com. You can contact us on Facebook, on Instagram, and these boys get around, and I'm sure you can find their number on the back of a toilet door or something like that. So you can just send them a text.
Definitely mine.
Suze, that's where you got your number from, wasn't it? Well, that is a wrap from the Halftime Heroes. It's been a pleasure. Good evening, good night, and good morning.